The Colts have gone back to Anthony Richardson as their quarterback. And I got to ask you, Daniel,
Mhm.
what does the move back to Anthony Richardson signify to you? To me, it signifies an organization that doesn't know what they're doing. But I also think this is a Jim Irsay move because he just said a couple days ago, 2 days ago, Joe Flacco would be the guy going forward. Now he went back to Anthony Richardson. I think he was forced. His hand was forced. And here's what I think. Here's what I think. I think that Shane Steichen might be coaching for his job.
Mhm.
That's what I believe. They believe they turned back to Anthony Richardson. Clearly, they want to see what they got in the guy. Man, Dan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that this Colts organization doesn't know what they're doing right now, and that's okay. But it's clear, right? And when we go through the list, man, it was
What do you mean it's okay?
well. I'm saying it's okay. Like, listen, hold on, let me get there. Obviously, it's not okay, but I'm saying like, hey, this is the state that they're in, and they have to do something to change it. But you went from Peyton Manning, then you went to Andrew Luck. And then you went to this whole runaround of you don't know what you're doing. So I think that this isn't new, Malik. This is they got two of the top 10 most talented high IQ quarterbacks to ever step foot on a football field. And after that, you don't know what to do. Right? Andrew Luck was, in my eyes, and we've talked about this, but it's him and Burrow as the two best college prospects of the past 15 years. After that, you went and you signed Philip Rivers. Didn't work out. You went and you signed Carson Wentz. Didn't work out. You had Jacoby Brissett for a year. Didn't work out. You went and you signed Matt Ryan. Didn't work out. So now you are at a place where, holy shit, I went and drafted a quarterback, Anthony Richardson. We all can agree had some serious flaws coming out of college, but Malik, he was young. He still is young. So there is a growing period. Malik, I'm very confident this organization felt like this was just going to be, he steps in like Peyton Manning or Andrew Luck. That's not what it is. That's not. How rare is it that you get a quarterback like a Burrow, like a Luck, like a Manning, like these dudes that can step in and day one you see that dude is going to be my franchise for the next 15 years. It is so rare. So I feel like this organization messed up. And they messed up by making that move to get off of Anthony Richardson earlier this year, which is why it took only 2 weeks to go back because they know they messed up. Uh, Joe Flacco, Malik, what is he? He's fine. But to think that that was going to push them deep into the playoffs, to think that that was going to save Shane Steichen's job, I don't think that that was smart. And obviously, hindsight 2020, I was also saying that Anthony Richardson should have been benched because of him calling out and saying, "Hey, I want out." But I think that this is at this point, it's the right move. You have to roll with your young quarterback. You draft him with the top 5 pick, and you have to go through the growing pains with him. You do. So I think this organization at this point, Malik, Shane Steichen's job is hot. And if I had to guess, if I'm honest, I don't think the Colts make the playoffs this year. They've got a tough schedule coming up. And I'm just not confident what I've seen with Anthony Richardson. And that was never the conversation. The conversation was never a, hey, you're going to be Lamar Jackson and immediately dominate. They got flashes of that with 2 games last year, and they expected that to be the entire season. No, you're going to go through growing pains. A dude who started only 10 games at college, you are going to have to work with him. So I believe Shane Steichen's job is hot, and I'm curious to see whose call this was. That's where my mind goes, right? Was it Chris Ballard, the GM? Was it the owner, Jim Irsay? Was it the head coach, Shane Steichen? Because at this point, the number one guy whose job it has to be on the hot seat is Shane Steichen. So I think that they've got a situation on their hands where they put themselves up against the wall. If they would have rolled with Anthony Richardson the entire season, I feel like this conversation would be different because at least you can sell to your fan base, hey, we're developing a quarterback. But you went away from him with the sole purpose we are trying to win football games now. That's what was said. And the sentiment is not wrong. You're trying to win now. But to say, hey, we're going to try to win now. And after one game of Joe Flacco, you switch it up. This shows me that the organization, when they made that move with Anthony Richardson, that was an emotional decision. That was a decision that they felt within the moment. They felt the entire NFL eyes, the fan base on them, and they felt that was the right decision. But that was a rash decision. That was an emotional decision. And hindsight is 2020. That was the wrong decision. So Anthony Richardson, for right or for wrong, you drafted him with top 5 pick. He deserves the chance to be your starting quarterback. He does.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I think that this situation with Anthony Richardson, listen, if you're going to bench the guy, don't play him the rest of the season. If you're going to play the guy, play him the rest of the season. That's how a guy grows. That's how a guy learns. And I understand the optics look extremely bad. That felt like a PR move, though, when they benched him the first time because of the whole checking himself out of the game because he was tired. That felt like they had to do something because they saw the outcry, the public outcry, the pressure from the fans. The organization felt that. And so they felt that they needed to make a drastic decision. And that drastic decision was, hey, let's move on from Anthony Richardson. Let's start Joe Flacco. Let's have him sit. And they go just to go back to him. No doubt about it. I believe Jim Irsay is calling these shots in a big way personally. And he's an emotional guy. We know that. Yeah. It's crazy we're not seeing his emotional tweets that he usually has. But I don't know. I think that this isn't a healthy environment right now for a young quarterback. I don't think this is a healthy environment for the Colts brass in general. And what's going to happen is you're going to start losing some vets. You're going to start losing some people because of the way things are operating. You might lose a Jonathan Taylor. You might start seeing guys ask for their release or ask to be traded. You know what I mean? You might really see that because this is a clown show right now. Yeah. They've got to figure this out. Jim Irsay, you got to allow Shane Steichen to lead, right? And maybe he hasn't shown everything, right now. But I will tell you, these were some of the concerns when Shane Steichen became a head coach. People felt like it was premature. People felt like it was premature for him, and it was premature for the defensive coordinator, who's now the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. That was the overall sentiment. And sure, right? Hindsight is always 2020. These guys could have panned out and been great. Still could be great. But I just think that you got to give Anthony Richardson some time, but you also got to allow Shane Steichen to lead how he wants to lead and how he sees fit for the team. Just my thoughts.
Yeah.